Hello everyone, Rocky here, and in this video we're going to take a look at what you can be buying this year for Christmas, 2018. You're stuck on an idea to get something for a gamer, and we'll go through some games and some peripherals and stuff at the end to see what kind of stuff we should be buying. So the first game on my list is the new Spider-Man game, out on PS4. It's actually been a very good year for PS4. And this game is one of those games that will be praised very highly this year. The gameplay, very similar to the Batman Arkham games by the looks of it, where you're dodging and you're weaving and you're running around, beating up bad guys. But it's set in the Spider-Man universe, which is pretty cool too. I mean, who doesn't love being able to web swing around town freely? Once you've tried it, you'll think, man, I wish I could travel like this in real life. I mean, look at him go. Look at him go in this trailer. Look at him flipping, punching, leaving his dirty, dirty web everywhere. Who's going to clean that up? Not me. And look at him go against this guy in the white suit. But anyway, this game is made by Insomniac Games. They also made Spyro years ago, and Ratchet & Clank, so they know what they're doing. So the next game on my list is an obvious one, Red Dead Redemption 2. This is by Rockstar. They also made the Grand Theft Auto games, so there's a lot of hype surrounding this game. A lot of people thought it would be Game of the Year for a lot of places, but actually that got taken by the game that's third choice on this list, which is coming up next. If you love cowboys, if you love open world games, if you love storylines and games that can just last a good 60 hours, you want to play this. And then you want to play it online with friends. Being able to rob trains, being able to steal horses, being able to take out outlaws. It's going to be pretty good fun. In groups, online. There's been a lot of people talking about how things cost too much online, that they're trying to make you spend real life money. And sure, they have been quoted to say such things that we're just sheep to them, spending all our money for their games, but... No, that's a fair point. They have buffed it though, so you are getting a lot more for your rewards now. So, it swings and roundabouts. Grand Theft Auto Online is still going strong. And it's been like 6 years. Still has millions of people playing. So yeah, check it out! And it very much reminds me of Westworld. I love that show. You have to love yourself far. Next game on my list, God of War. This one, much like Spider-Man, is a PlayStation 4 exclusive. And man, a lot of people have been talking about this as best game of the year. The storyline, superb. The game direction also won an award. So people are very much loving this. And who doesn't want to run around with your virtual son killing stuff? Killing giant monsters. Killing zombie monsters? And big ogre monsters. It does replace his previous God of War weapons with a big old magical axe. Oh, timed that just right. God of War. Now, there's a theme here. PlayStation exclusives. Because I nailed it. Detroit Become Human. I've heard a lot of my friends actually say this is a very emotional game. The single player game, story based, where every action you make can lead down different paths. The characters themselves are actually made using real actors, using different motion capture techniques. So, if you think acting is good, in this at least, you gotta try it out. I'd say it's probably a better game for a good chill out session, where you're just playing through a story and enjoying it. No shooting, high action. But there is a lot of quick time events, so you're pressing X for one solution or B for another solution. Yeah, Detroit Become Human on PlayStation. Most branching story ever.
My name is Kara.
My name is Connor.
My name is Marcus.
They all got names.
Is our story.
We'll get back into the action now with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
You're old enough now.
The latest
My father
in the Assassin's
says
Creed
it's a certain
series.
burden, but
This one's set in ancient Greece.
it carries with it a long line of power.
It's a pretty fun open world game again, where you're running around killing people as an assassin.
The same blood courses through your veins, but it isn't enough.
There are new role-playing elements though, and it does add on from the previous game, which was Origins, you know, the one set in Egypt. People have said this is like a much better version of it, so this could be seen as possibly one of the best in the series, up there with Assassin's Creed 4, the pirate one. The only negative point for this game is there are microtransactions, and some people see them as being too much, but you gotta go where your wallet is. So don't go spending on microtransactions. You've just paid 60 quid for this game. And if you got on PC, there's always a lot of bundles going around. I know a lot of bundles with hard drives, your SSDs. That's how I got mine. With an SSD. It was practically a free game. But yeah, don't let Ubisoft squeeze all the pennies out of you. Next up we have a V game for Nintendo Switch. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Just check it out. 74 characters in the base game, with more coming with DLC, probably. It's just broken records of most sold in Europe or something, or best game in Europe, or best ever Switch game, most sold Switch game, something like that. It's got over 800 tracks, music tracks, all mixed in from previous games. And it's actually been heavily praised by all the critics, saying it's the best ever Smash Bros. Game. So if you've ever enjoyed the Smash Bros. Game, it's even better. The final game on my list is another Nintendo Switch game. Switch and PlayStation 4 have had a lot of love this year. This one, another really good one. Well, this is Pokemon Let's Go. You got either the Eevee version or the Pikachu version, much like the red, blue and yellow of the younger days in the 90s. I loved playing them in the 90s. And this is pretty much a remake, but instead of capturing Pokemon the old-fashioned way of beating them up, is using the Pokemon Go style. We got to just chuck a ball at them, as you've just seen. The only issue with this is it gets harder as you find rarer Pokemon. It's just like, just chucked it off then. Is that 2 people playing? I didn't know you could do that. But anyway, both catch it at once. Who gets the Pokemon? Do you make a monster? Do you get half each? But anyway, the big problem is, if you've got a disability that limits your arm movement, you're going to struggle, because that's the only way to catch a Pokemon. Unless you want to play it handheld, which is the only other way, because all you need is flick the wrist. But if you're playing with the controller, as you can see, they're proper going for it. The throws. You can get a sweet Pokeball thing too. Man. So this has a lot of nostalgia. So if you're from the 90s and played the game in the 90s, it's awesome to see it in the new version. This isn't part of the main series, which the last one was what? Sun and Moon, something like that, on the handheld. But when they do bring out a version for the Switch to rival the handheld ones, it's gonna be mind-blowing, because those games are actually a lot of fun. And they'll have a huge online element. Plenty of multiplayer going on. Maybe some esports competitions. But for now, we make do with this. Based on the original Pokemon games. On the old Game Boy. And then Game Boy Color. Man, exciting. Now, I do want to make some honourable mentions to other games you should be buying. And first one up is another PlayStation exclusive, I think. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It's just come out this year. It's basically remastered Spyro, much like they did with Crash Bandicoot last year. It looks pretty sweet. It sounds pretty sweet. It's basically just the original Spyro games, the three. But all the graphics have been done up. And yeah, it probably runs smoother. They might have got rid of some glitches that were in the originals, some bugs, and that was pretty cool. I remember when I was a kid, I'd play with my younger sister when we played Spyro. It's a single player game, so I always handed her a second controller and said, "You're the fairy, all you can do is float around me," and it meant we both played Spyro and I didn't have to share. My next honourable mention is Diablo 3 on the Switch. It is a fantastic port. So originally it was on PC and console for PlayStation and Xbox. At least definitely PlayStation. I'm not too sure on Xbox. And on PC it was a lot of fun, but I didn't have many people to play it with, and I didn't have PlayStation or Xbox. And when the Switch version came out, you know what? I'm able to play it on the toilet. I'm able to play it in the living room using a tiny little controller. I'm able to play it with friends when they come over. I'd just be like, "Hey, hop on. What do you want to play? Mario Kart or Diablo 3? Both great games, but they have different moods. So if you fancy something more killy, go Diablo. If you fancy something more racy, play some Mario Kart." So yeah, Diablo 3 on Switch. Get it. And my third and final honourable mention is Total War Warhammer 2. And I know what you're saying, but that came out last year. What are you doing? Well, with the amount of DLC that they bring out, it's got to be the only game at the moment that I'm actually willing to pay for DLC, because I'm quite stingy. I don't like having to pay extra once you've already bought a game. But the DLC for Warhammer 2, it actually brings a lot of depth. Like, each campaign can last you a good 20-30 hours, and each DLC is a brand new campaign with a brand new playstyle and new units, new armies, and yeah, I love it. It's so fun, and if you can get a friend to play it with you through the campaign in the co-op, it's just like 10 times better again. And actually, it did come out on Mac and Linux end of November this year, so everyone can play it now in like the PC computer kind of world, not console people. Not yet. Don't know how it would port well to console. There'd have to be some real poke jiggery to the controller, because it is a mouse and keyboard game. While you're here, let me tell you about some extra peripherals and stuff that you can get alongside the games. They're pretty sweet, this year's games. I want to start with webcams, because everybody these days want to share content, wants to stream. So many kids these days looking to stream. The best webcam that you can get for them at the moment is recommended, like universally, is the Logitech C920 HD Pro. I'm using one right now. It might not even look that good, but I've seen other people use them and they always look fantastic. So I guess it's just me. It usually goes for about 90 quid. So I wouldn't get it at that price. I would wait because it always drops in price leading up to Christmas. You might see it right now for either 50 or 25. I bought it for 25 for someone as a gift. And I've seen it go on sale twice in the last month, 10 days. You could buy a couple at 25 and then sell them on for 50 quid. And bam, you've made even more money. Have an even better Christmas. You also want like a headset to go with it, or maybe a microphone and some earphones, because it's not so important the headphones, but a good microphone is always worth having. I'd say the ground entry microphones, probably the Blue Snowball, which you can get for like 40 to 60 pounds, or if you have a little bit extra cash, get the Blue Yeti, which a lot of people recommend. I got the AT2020. It's hooked up to a mixer, so I'm kind of fancy, but I did use my Snowball for years before. Just look at any video from, I don't know, 2016, 2017, and I probably using the Snowball, and my sound is probably just as clear as the sound is now. If you're really keen on getting a headset, make sure you research, make sure you go based on reviews on Amazon or something. You don't want a headset that's prone to breaking all the time. I hear not so great things about Logitech, so maybe check out a different brand. Razer. I've had problems with Razer. I've had friends with problems with Razer products, so maybe not Razer either. And if you're looking for a console, like I said earlier, Nintendo Switch. You gotta get one. A Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Hint hint, that's what I want. Hint 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 hint. Maybe a couple, because I bought a couple of PowerA controllers for the Switch. They're the ones that have like decals, like maybe you got a picture of Mario or Yoshi or something on them. You can get from the store. They both broke within 2 months. The analog stick went on them, and I googled it, and it turns out it's quite a common thing. So make sure you get the official Switch controllers that don't say PowerA on the front of the box, because they look official. And I think it's because they're licensed by Nintendo, but I wouldn't buy them. It's just not worth the money. Unless you keep the receipt and then you keep returning them once a month. Equally, PlayStation 4 would be an awesome buy, especially based on my list I just did. There's so many good games on PlayStation 4 right now. You don't need big fancy one that costs like 400 quid. You can pick them up on an offer for like 220, 240. It's a great console for kids. I recommended it to one of my good pals, and he's bought it for his young kids with Spider-Man, because everybody loves Spider-Man. But the one thing I want to warn you against is Fortnite bundles. You can get PlayStation with Fortnite bundles, maybe get Xbox with Fortnite bundles. Any kind of bundle that involves Fortnite, don't get, because it's a free game. It's a free to play game. And you basically buy nothing when you buy it. Okay? You may as well get a different bundle and then download Fortnite afterwards. Because recently I heard a story of someone who either wanted to get a FIFA bundle or Fortnite bundle. They went with the Fortnite bundle and then bought FIFA separately. When if they went with the FIFA bundle, they would have had that game included in the bundle price and then download Fortnite for nothing. So, know what I'm saying? My final suggestion is vouchers, because you cannot go wrong with games vouchers. For example, Steam or Xbox or PlayStation. The vouchers are awesome, especially with January sales. If you give a Steam user £20 in Steam vouchers during the January sales, that person might get 30 games out of it. Because these games, they go pretty cheap if you're looking for indie games at least. And that's it. That's all from me. If I have helped you decide to buy anything with this video, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you've got any ideas of what people should be buying too. I'm always open for new ideas. Pop heads of your favourite games, they're pretty cool. I got a pop ad. I got a Labyrinth pop ad. There! That's my picture of my rock ape. There's also Batman on him. There's also Batman below him. Batman. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas ahead. And yeah, you got a few days left to buy. You could pop into any game store. Amazon, if you have Prime, may still be okay. I know that these delivery companies are super busy this time of year. Can't recommend next day delivery all the time. So yeah, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to me. Okay, bye.